You have to understand that your destiny is directly tied to the things that you give your time and attention to. They say what you think about comes about. Where energy goes, that is where destiny flows from. So pay attention to that one. We live in a time today of hyper complexity, technological advancement, and overflow of information. It usually beats my mind when people always give the excuses of waiting for one more piece of information before they can get on the path to really hitting their goals in this life, or trying to make sure they have one more skill before they can start on the direction of their destiny. What if I submit to you today that what most people suffer from is not information deficit, it is actually implementation deficit. So in this video, I want to talk to you about the 7 reasons or the 7 thieves that are going to steal your destiny from you. These 7 attitudes and habits that have the highest propensity to deviate you and completely take you away from getting to what you are destined to become in this life. The first one is procrastination. I was reading a book by one of the top efficiency and productivity YouTubers. He's called Ali Abdal. He was a medical doctor in England and he became a YouTuber and he has over 6 million subscribers. And one of the things he said that helped him a lot with increasing his productivity is that after planning his day and then breaking down the different things he has to do, he gets to them. And sometimes in the process of going after those things, if something else comes in his mind that he needs to do and that thing requires less than 5 minutes, less than 20 minutes, he goes ahead and does that thing too. He says he realized that one of the most important things that has helped his growth in not only becoming very productive but being efficient in running his business is the ability to not procrastinate. You see, a lot of people live in that space where they believe they have a lot of time in their hands. Or I will do it tomorrow. Or I will do it the next day. When you are determined to do what you plan to do, when you know that your destiny is at risk, when you understand that by not doing that action, it is going to hold back additional actions about it, you know what? You will not procrastinate. A few months ago, I decided I was going to walk 100 days, and every day I was going to walk 4 to 7 miles a day. In all fairness and complete disclosure, I haven't been able to do that every day, even though that was my original goal. But I've been able to complete about 40 days, and I still have 60 days to go. But one of the things that has really helped me is to refuse to procrastinate. There are some times I walk during the day, and by the time I know it, it's about 9 p.m. at night. And I'm thinking, okay, Gustav, you know what? Just take a break and you do the walk tomorrow. But I force myself to get up, wear my walking attire, and go out and walk, even though it is late. And the reason I do that is because when I procrastinate once, by the time I get back to walking again, it's about 1 week out. I'm sure that happens to you too. Every time you procrastinate, the spiral effect is even more than the initial effort that you would have taken to do what you do. So as you get along, you must pay attention to procrastination. Avoid procrastinating what you can do today. Don't put it for tomorrow. The second and huge possible destiny thief is fear. And I'm not talking here about the usual cliche of fear of failure. I'm also talking about fear of success. Because both of them in equal value can completely annihilate your destiny. Fear of failure, fear of trying because you worry that you're going to fail. That is commonplace. Everyone knows that 90% of destinies, 90% of gifts, 90% of potential is killed by the fear of failure. But there is also a flip side of that coin, the fear of success. You know, the truth of the matter is a lot of people don't only worry whether if they fail, what will happen. There is a good number of people too that worry, what if it succeeds? Am I going to be able to handle the amount of success that is going to come? I can tell you something. Today, you probably sit and see me talking to you with this fluency. It never used to be like that. I remember one of the first few times I decided I wanted to spend my life passing the knowledge I have in my mind, mining my mind, helping people to be able to generate that desire in them to want to change their purpose. Each time I put the camera, I will be so afraid. I will start thinking of all these different things. What if they think my English, my accent is bad? What if they think I don't look like I'm supposed to be talking on camera? What if I don't have perfect grammar? Sometimes I might miss a preposition here. All of that is your subconscious mind deceiving you. I was thinking only about failure. But you know what? From the day I painted a picture of what I project myself to be in 10 years, the kind of community I'm going to build, the massive business I'm going to build, the impact it is going to have, because my goal is to make sure my message, by the time I call it from this side of eternity and die, my message would have reached at least 1 billion people of the projected 9 billion people who are going to be alive and living on earth at that time. So when I looked at that proportion of where I'm trying to go, now the newer fear was, hey, am I going to be able to handle that kind of success? Am I going to be able to handle building such a massive community? And I realized that the fear is not only limited to the fear of failure, but there is also the fear of success. If you're already on the path right now doing something significant and you're seeing some traction, don't be afraid. Don't worry too much about what the next level looks like. Sometimes you have to get there and you figure it out while you're there. Hey guys, in addition to all the valuable information I bring to you every week on my videos and my short videos on different platforms, especially here on YouTube, I also have a community of over 2,000 like-minded, serious and driven people who, like you, are receiving exclusively this time a newsletter once a week. And this information in the newsletter is unique and it only goes to those people who are part of the newsletter community. So if you're interested in getting this once a week update, which includes different tips, different ideas on how to build yourself, how to generate wealth, how to make money, how to build a legacy, go ahead and click down in the link in the description and you'll be able to join our newsletter community. And when you join that community, you would realize exactly how much value that brings to you on a weekly and daily basis. Let's get back to regular programming. The third thing, social media, devices, TVs. I know this is commonplace. The message I'm talking to you is common sense messages, but it's not common practice. A lot of people understand these things, but they never take the discipline to put themselves in a place where they could minimize it. On your Android or Apple phone you have right now, there is an app on it. If you don't have that app, you can download it. A simple app that tracks the amount of time you spend on social media, on your phone, talking, watching channels, and doing different things. You would realize that an average person spends about 6 hours of a day talking on the phone. Imagine you have 24 hours of a day. You sleep for about 6 to 8 hours of that time. You have 16 hours left, right? Let's say you sleep for 8 hours. You have 16 hours. You have to work for another 8 hours. Then you include drive time and all of that. It's about 9 hours. And then you spend 6 hours of that independent, quiet time doing devices and things like that. Which basically means, like I always say, by the time you turn 75 years, if you sleep 8 hours a day, you would have slept for about 2/3 of your life. So I need you to understand that devices, social media is powerful, it's great, but you must have discipline to it. On my phone, I set alarms. I have an alarm for YouTube. I love YouTube. And when it's time to go, after a while, the alarm goes off and YouTube shuts down on my phone. Same thing for WhatsApp, same thing for all Facebook, all the different applications I have. Because I realize that if I leave it only to my natural mind, I'm not going to be strong enough to discipline myself. So I force myself to follow those rules, right? I remember during the COVID era, something happened. The news was reading and keeping count of the number of deaths a day. And I realized after a few weeks into COVID that my daughters were getting depressed, my daughters were getting anxious, they cannot even step outside. And I realized one of the reasons is because they were glued in front of the TV watching this COVID death count up. Keep talking about only the number of bodies that have died from COVID, and the count kept increasing. And I thought to myself, the first thing I needed to do, I canceled cable. And since then till today, I don't have cable in my house, no TV. I realized that why didn't they spend time also doing the count up of the number of people who have been healed and are strong are going back home and saved from COVID? So you have to understand that your destiny is directly tied to the things that you give your time and attention to. They say what you think about comes about. Where energy goes, that is where destiny flows from. So pay attention to that one. The fourth one is materialism. You see, we live in a time, especially in this world, where information overflow is powerful, where materialism has taken over everything. The world today is designed to market to you the desire and the need to feel like you need some additional thing to look more beautiful. You need some additional thing to look handsome. You need some additional thing to look presentable. You need to do a little facelift here because your jaw is getting wrinkled. For ladies, you need to push up your breast a little. Or maybe you need to do something on your skin so you look a little smart. All of that stuff is coming from a deceitful message that keeps coming to our subconscious, telling us that we need one additional thing to be better or to look better. Materialism today is that extreme, insatiable desire to acquire things. I live in a home here with 3 children and my wife. And every day I get up, I tell myself, Gustav, every day you must find something you need to go donate and get it out of the way. Because if you don't do that, you would realize that over time you've accumulated things you really don't need. Because as you get older, you need even less in terms of things to really be happy and content in your life. If you do an analysis, even in your closet, for example, you will realize that 70% of the clothes in your closet, you haven't worn them more than 2 times in the last 10 years if you've owned them for 10 years. Same thing for your shoes, right? So don't get caught up by materialism, because what materialism too does is that it's a draw that never really ends. It's a count that never really ends. The thing you get today, you have a new phone, you need an upgrade to that new phone. You have a new outfit, there's a better outfit that just came out, right? You have a new car, there's a new version that just came out. And don't get me wrong, I don't say you don't have to get nice things and look good and do what you need to do. But all I'm saying is that don't get yourself caught up in the mindset of believing that you need those things to necessarily bring out the person you are or to necessarily project you as something better than what you already are. The fifth thing is trying to do too many things at once. You see, one of the things I realized, especially a few years ago, I was working full-time. I had 2 full-time jobs. At the same time, I had a training institute, a business, training people in IT and getting them to 6-figure jobs and over. At the same time, I was a professional MC, traveling on the weekends, covering birthdays and parties and all different things. At the same time, I still am a nurse. And on some weekends, if I'm not traveling as an MC, I will go work as a nurse because I loved working as a nurse. I love that human interaction. And in addition, it brought me extra income, right? And then at that time too, I'm trying to build the business I am on now, which is the business of coming to you with messages like this. And then I realized I wasn't becoming great at any of them because I was too dispersed. I was focusing on too many things at once. And what happened is that it takes away my energy and my focus and it gets distributed to too many things at once. Think about it this way, right? If you take the magnifying glass and you put it between the sun and a piece of paper and focus the rays of the sun on that magnifying glass, after a few minutes, the paper starts burning. Why do you think that happens? Do you think that would have happened if you were moving the magnifying glass? No, it wouldn't have happened. The reason why is because you focus the heat and the intensity of the rays of the sun on one thing for a long period of time. Whatever it is that is your destiny, if you want to make sure it's not stolen from you, if you want to make sure you get to your potential and your purpose, then you have to stay focused. You have to make sure you don't try to do too many things at once. Pick 1 or 2 things and decide to focus on them. Work on them until you get to a logical conclusion whether it's working or not. Now, if it's not working, then you can move on to something else. But usually, from my experience in life, and from the experience I know from reading a lot and getting from mentors I've been around, anything you focus on long enough, number one, you become an expert at it. There is a book called, it talks about the law of 10,000 hours. Tipping Point, that's the name of the book. Tipping Point. This guy did a research and he said if you put in 10,000 hours on any activity, you would acquire skill level at the level of an expert. So you have to think about the things you're doing. If you spread yourself too thin, can you put in 10,000 hours in any of those things? And then can you expect that you qualify as good enough, as efficient enough in them to be able to become great at it and become successful? Same too it is with your destiny. Whatever it is that you want to focus on, make sure you stay on that path. Hey guys, just a brief break from regular programming. You see, most human beings, if you really go deep into their heart's desire, they want three things. They want to live a life of growth and development in order to be relevant. They want to be able to build wealth and also leave behind a legacy that will last for perpetuity. In my Guarantee Your Legacy program, which is a custom designed program, I answer these three questions and more for you. I have limited availability on that program. It's an 8 weeks program whereby we meet once a week one-on-one with me. In addition to that, I'll walk through the different critical things that you need to be able to grow as a person, to be able to become relevant, to be able to impact people in order to create a legacy. And in doing that, you can also build wealth. If you already have it, I can teach you how to protect it, preserve it, so that way it lasts for perpetuity. Don't hesitate. If you would like to learn more about that program, click on the link down in the description section of this video, and I sure will see you on the inside. Let's go back to the regular programming. The seed thief that is going to distract you and steal your destiny is guaranteed employment. You know, today I think to myself and I laugh because a few months ago I was on a podcast and I said something that caused a lot of ruckus. I said we are living in a time when job security is the greatest insecurity. And I've talked about this quite a few times in different videos, right? The fact that you sit and you get lazy on your laurels and you believe that the job you're doing or the employment you have, that's what is going to take you through your life. Trust me and listen to me very well. 90% of people are working in jobs they hate. These people are working in jobs if they had alternatives, if they could do something different and make that kind of money, they won't be working in that jobs. I'm not saying you shouldn't do your job. No. I am just saying that if that is not aligned with your purpose, if that is not aligned with your vision and your destiny in life, find a way to also start working on your destiny while working on that job. Because if you stay only focused on that job, if you stay only focused on guaranteed employment, you will never be able to dig deep in you. You'll never be able to work on the skills that are innate to you, the gifts that are given only to you, to fine-tune them and dislodge them to the world for remuneration. The seventh and final thief of your destiny are the people you keep around you, your friendships. Who are the people you spend time with? There's a common cliche, show me your friends and I will show you your destiny. Generally, most people earn about 20 to 25% within the average income of their group of friends. So what that really means is if four of your five friends are flipping hamburgers in McDonald's, most likely you are flipping hamburgers in Burger King. If four of your five friends are trying to do something significant with their life, they're practicing law, they're in medicine, they're trying to build businesses, most likely you will be around that range. So it's important to understand that when you are trying to pursue your destiny, when you try to understand the path of your life and the purpose you need to chase in this life, if you don't have that group of friends, start associating yourself with people who are thinking like you, with people who are trying to go where you are going, or with people who are already where you aspire to go. That is the fastest path to getting to your destiny. Trust me, these 7 thieves I've talked about to you today, it might sound simplistic, but these are things that will completely distract you, will take you away from your destiny, and at the end of your life, you will realize that you must have lost your destiny to the power of these destiny thieves. I pray that as you listen to this, it does something to your mind. But before you go, don't forget to leave me a like. Click the like button on this video. Subscribe to this channel. In the description column of this video, in the description of the video, you will also see a link. And that link is for people who are serious about being able to work on identifying what their gift and their purpose is. People who really want to uncover that purpose of theirs and start working on it. Because a lot of times on a lot of videos I do, people inbox me, but Mr. Achu, how do I know what my purpose is? How do I know what I'm good at? How do I know what my gift is in this life? There is a link down in the description section. Click on that link and book a one-on-one appointment with me. We'll be able to discuss how to navigate, how to build strategies, and I'll offer you some very, very life-changing programs that if you pursue, you'll be able to uncover your purpose and be able to leverage that purpose to make a beautiful living, like I am leveraging my purpose right now to make a wonderful and beautiful living. I work when I like, I wake up when I like, I do the things I really enjoy. I'm sitting now passing this information to you. I spend time reading books to increase my knowledge while working in the realm of my purpose. And you know what? I don't only have that deep satisfaction, but most importantly, I'm also building an enormous amount of influence and impact. And with that influence and impact will come every other thing I need for my life. So until the next time, I hope you stay well, be blessed, and by all means, never stop being a blessing to somebody. See you in the next video.